Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Warrior from Aurora and her album All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend. Nailed it. All right, this is, oh crap, now I mess up this part. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what Warrior is all about. All right, this song is an anthem for Aurora's fans who she calls warriors and weirdos. It is also a song that reminds us that even if we find ourselves in dark times, we must fight. We cannot surrender, because only through darkness we can see the light. Using her words, I call myself a warrior even though I've never held a sword, or anything else that can hurt people physically, but people have fights in their lives, small and big. Pretty sure you've held a fork. All right, you can do some damage with a fork. And it's a nice thought that people can walk around and call themselves warriors, which they should do. Whether they're a fan of me or not, it's strong. It's important to remember how strong we are. From Red Bull sessions, which this one is up on Patreon, there's actually 3 live versions for this song on Patreon. She stated that warrior is kind of about what I kind of think is the meaning of humans' life is to be kind to other humans. You know, in the verse I say, I can't recall the last time I opened my eyes to see the world as beautiful. It's kind of about being a bit not disappointed, but I guess a bit like the more you grow, the more you realize how many dark sides life contains in the world and people. And you know it can be a very sad thing that we are doing all these things against each other, and that's kind of what the song is about. Yeah, I agree. And we've talked about that in some kind of previous videos. Just the idea of trying to not grow bitter at the world, even though as you grow older, you see more, your eyes are way wider, and things that like maybe you were ignorant to in the past, you recognize, like you thought somebody was being kind to you, but then you get older and you're like, no, that person was just being deceptive. And that's hard to grapple with at times. Verse 1, I fall asleep in my own tears. That's sad. I cry for the world, for everyone, and I build a boat to float in. I'm floating away. So probably this idea of kind of creating an ocean of your tears. I can't recall the last time I opened my eyes to see the world as beautiful, and I built a cage to hide in. I'm hiding. I'm trying to battle the night. Let love conquer your mind, warrior. Warrior. Just reach out for the light, warrior. I am a warrior. And I think that's it, right? The idea of being the warrior is first and foremost trying to fight to see beauty in the world, right? Because there is so much darkness, so much evil. I was even just watching a minute ago, like a short of a guy filming a video in a park, and they're off camera, but he's kind of annotating below what's happening, that this group of teenagers just started being ugly to him and heckling him, and then they threw something at him, and he didn't retaliate. And in my eyes, that guy was a warrior. He stood strong, and it's so hard, right? Because it's such an injustice. Like, how ugly and hateful does a person have to be to spend their time being malicious against another person just because they find it fun? You know, and I was that in high school. I had my time, and I was not a cool kid in high school, so I don't know what my problem was. I was just ugly and mean and disgusting, and like, I hate that person, you know? And I've shared on this channel, my own story is that I encountered Christ, and he changed everything for me, I mean, remade me. And then I began, like, I spent a whole year, I remember, like, studying through the book of Proverbs and learning about the tongue and learning about being quiet. And I kind of went way far in the other direction and like just stopped talking for a long time, but maybe I needed that. Sometimes I think we kind of go to extremes when we're learning something and eventually find ourselves back in the middle, because I began to realize, like, my personality, and I like having fun. I like being goofy. I like making jokes. And I was the class clown in high school. And then I had this season where I was like realizing, man, I'm so foolish, so impatient. I say a lot of dumb things. I don't know timing very well. And so I just like went really serious. And it's funny because my wife we knew each other at the time and we liked each other, but she did not like me in that season of life. And I found my way kind of back over into the middle and recognized like humor and goofiness are a gift to the world when they're used with wisdom and you know how to use them and when to use them. You can help like bring kind of some levity to heavy moments. And I learned how to use that as a gift, but I think it's just recognizing, man, the world can be so ugly. And yet that guy was a warrior in my mind because he didn't retaliate. He was the bigger person there and just let them go on about their business and got back to what he was doing. But it's so frustrating at times. And so that ability to be a warrior, not only to step into the day and let love conquer your mind, but then carry that out. Be the warrior in life that is willing to give attention to people that most people don't give attention to recognize the human being beside you. And especially, and most difficult, are the people that are hateful, and yet you might be able to win them over with love and compassion. Not always. Sometimes they're not going to care and you're just going to have to move on. But at least you did your part. You were the warrior in that situation. So verse 2, I stand behind a wall of people and thoughts, mind controlling, and I hold a sword to guide me. I'm fighting my way. And then repeating this, right? I can't recall the last time I opened my eyes to see the world as beautiful. I built a cage to hide in. I'm hiding. I'm trying to battle the night. So battle through this desire to just hide away, right? And then let love conquer. So this is the battle, right? But let love conquer your mind. Underneath darkened skies, there's a light kept alive. I love that. So beautiful. So yeah, you're becoming this warrior of love. And that's the goal. So that's what I'm fighting for, fellow warriors. Let's be warriors of love today. Let's quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. Let's try to extend forgiveness, because ultimately, if you withhold forgiveness, you kind of build a cage for yourself. It doesn't mean you're ever, listen, giving forgiveness doesn't mean saying what you did is okay. And I've taught that to my children as well. You know, when one of my children does something ugly against the other one and they apologize, and the other one says, that's okay. It just depends, all right? Because I don't want to kill that, just like being that willingness to kind of let things go and let things roll off your back, because you have to be able to do that. But what I've also tried to teach them is you don't have to say that's okay. What you simply say is, I forgive you. Because I'm not excused. What you said was ugly. What you said was wrong. The action you did against me was not right. I'm not telling you that's okay. You shouldn't go do that. You shouldn't repeat that behavior. But what I am telling you is, I forgive you. I release you. And I think that that's powerful, and it takes a warrior spirit to live that way. Well, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Aurora has a great way of making us think, and I'm thankful for her music and her message. And I appreciate you being here and listening. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.